All right, guys, this is your girl, Coco Brown Curls, and we are back again for another episode of the Let's Keep Here podcast. How's everybody doing?
Hey, good.
And we are back this week, guys, and surprise, I'm opening up the show. After coming off a very, different, right? After coming off a very, I want to almost say solemn, but it was good. It was a release for me. Last episode, the Let's Be Clear episode we did last week was dedicated to our boy Nipsey Hussle. So we kind of shut down the entire podcast. We dedicated the entire show to him. But this week we are back to our regularly scheduled program. So like always, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start it out first. We got Curls Loving Life this week, but I got a little spin on it. I'm so excited this week because you guys know I always come with it, the crazy topics, with those love topics, with those life topics. But I actually have my first guest this week. So we have on here our very first author. We have Anissa D. Blair. And sorry, I always have to give people their official name, so I love that.
My government name.
Right, your government name. Anissa D. Blair. She is an author. She is a blogger. And I'm not going to do your introduction for you. I'll let you introduce yourself. So, Anissa, what you want to tell the people? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. As has already been stated, I am Anissa D. Blair. Blogger, mother, wife, best friend, you name it, I have it covered. I started off blogging about 2 or 3 years ago, but I have been writing as long as I can remember. I started off writing poems probably in my about 7 or 8 years old, and I progressed 2 short stories, and I had one of my short stories published back in the good old days. It was called Chicken Soup of the Soul, and I kind of put writing off, and then I picked it back up recently and finally completed a project that I wrote 16 years ago called Your Husband, My Man, with the subtitle, Can Best Friends Love the Same Way? So that is an introduction to me. I'll tell you, I will be soon 47 years old in September, 47 years young.
Yeah, exactly. Years young.
Years young. And I am determined that this is my time and I'm going to live my best life. So there you go.
I love it. Okay, well, you went ahead and you immediately answered one of my first questions because I wanted to know what your passion is to write. And it's so crazy that you said that you had something published in Chicken Soup for the Soul. I actually was a teenager when those books came out, and I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
Yes.
And I actually had those, and I kept them because I knew one day I would be a mother, I would have children, and they really helped me get through my teenage life, my teenage years. So I actually kept them. They're still in mint condition. I think I have Teenage Soul. Yeah, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul on love and friendship, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul on family and relationships or something like that. I think I have 4 or 5 of them. So I think that's really cool that you have something published in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only downside of what I did, and that was back in, the late 90s, when someone came to me with that. I submitted my short story, and it was chosen, and it was on the basis that my name was not going to be used in that particular edition of Chicken Soup for the Soul. I know that sounds crazy that I would ever agree to that, but I was just so honored that someone chose my short story. And my short story was about molestation. It was a story that was dear to my heart because it was about me, and it was called My Summer Vacation. So if you happen to see it, I don't know if they would have changed the title to it, but that is probably my short story. But anyway, that's it. We're moving on to bigger and better things and getting ready to blow up.
Right. Okay, so I heard you say that you thought of this, and I also read it too, that you thought of this idea 16 years ago. So what motivated you to finally release it now?
Back to having this conversation with God, where I was like, okay, I know how to be a mother, check. I know how to be a wife, check. But I think that there's something else that I'm supposed to be doing. While I do enjoy both of those things, I felt like there's something I'm supposed to be doing besides this. And I've always written, and with life getting in the way, I sit it down and I put everyone else before me. And I finally got to a point where I said, okay, my son is getting ready to graduate from college. I have 2 little ones in elementary, but they're somewhat self-sufficient. Now it's my time. And going through a divorce and then getting remarried and finally finding that right partner that didn't want to beat me down but wanted to support me and be my cheerleader, it kind of just, everything just started aligning, you know, everything. I mean, it was like the path just cleared and it became, I went into auto drive. And I said, I'm going to do it, even if only one person reads it. I am going to show this book to the world and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it till everyone says, oh, yeah, I've read that book. You've got to read it as well. So far, the response has been overwhelming. I'm super excited, and I'm going to keep moving and keep pushing it until it's going to be a movie. That's my goal. That's what I see.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Definitely put that out in the universe. Put that out in the air. Yes. I can definitely see this turning into the movie. So for you guys that don't know, I did have the opportunity to get a sneak peek of the book. I did get the first 3 chapters, and it's everything. It is everything. It immediately pulled me in. I feel like the 2 main characters that we have in it, Faith and Vanessa, I feel like there's a part of each female character I think that all women can relate to, between the strength. I noticed a little fear of rejection, definitely a desire to be desired, I'll say. The desire to want to be self-sufficient and independent. Those are just some of the things that I pulled from both characters. But I don't want to tell too much about the book. So, Anissa, what do you want our listeners to know about the book and the concept behind it?
Well, first and foremost, I have to always give a disclaimer that this is not about my life. This is not anything related to my life, because I've gotten that question, like, is this about you? No.
Right, especially with that title, Kim, Best Friends Love the Same Man.
Right. So what I wanted to do when I wrote this book was focus on not the adultery, that's the easy part. I wanted to focus on the dynamics of relationships between 2 women. And when I made up these characters, my main character was Faith. She was that sassy, independent woman that thought very highly of herself from the outside looking in, but had a lot of deep, dark-seated secrets and disappointments in her life that kind of left her empty. And the way she kind of dealt with those disappointments is she used her body for sex. Not in the prostitution, but she normally got involved with men that she knew were not going to be good for her. But because she got that temporary satisfaction of feeling wanted and desired, she set herself up in each relationship to think that that's all she needed. She had a past where her mother died of an overdose when she was young, and she always reverts back to her birth certificate where it says father unknown. And that's always been that hollow pit in her heart, because she doesn't have that foundation of, 1, knowing who her father is, and 2, having that mother in her life, because her mother was a drug addict that overdosed. So I wanted to make her name Faith because it was an oxymoron to her belief system, where she didn't believe in nothing but what Faith wanted to do at that moment. So I made sure that her path crossed with someone who was distinctly opposite than her, and that is Vanessa. Vanessa is that person that looks good on paper. She has all the accolades, the degrees, everything that she needs, but she's terribly insecure. She sees herself as overweight, as undesirable, and she feels like if I can just find that perfect man to compliment me, everything about my life is going to be perfect. She was raised in a household where there was a mother and a father, but her father was an alcoholic and an abuser of her mother. So she didn't have that foundation to really be able to decide what she needed to find in a man. She just started relying heavily on God, and God's going to make a way, and God's going to work it out, which those are good qualities to have, but God also wants you to have a little bit of sense about it as well. And she made some bad decisions. And unfortunately, their paths crossed with this one particular man, which his name is Kenny. And Kenny is kind of the man that kind of pulls from men that all women have encountered at one point in time in their lives. That
definitely.
Fine. He looks good on paper as well, but he is just a very arrogant, egotistical, and, for lack of a better word, a very mean man. And he took advantage of both of these women, but more importantly, he destroyed 2 lives, and I don't want to tell you the book, but I'll tell you this part. He walked away from it like whatever, on to the next person. So I wanted to focus on these relationships and show how their childhood played an intricate role in the decisions that they made as adults.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And like I said, I just hear how you explain them kind of gives me even more of a sneak peek of what's to come in it. So just thinking, I know you said that this is not based off your life, so let's repeat that, people. This is not based off her life. She has not found herself in this situation. But when you think of these two women and how different they are, but I seriously feel like all women can kind of relate to them in some way, shape, or form. What was your inspiration between choosing these two total opposite women?
You know what? When we as women, especially when it comes to something as cheating or adultery, we tend to always point the finger at the woman, and we always seem to think that the woman that's committing the adultery or the cheating is some scandalous hoe that ain't got nothing else going on for her, and she's just no good and get your own man kind of woman. But I wanted to show that these were two attractive women that had everything going for them and just made bad choices. And unfortunately, a lot of the blame in this book, until the characters started evolving and growing, was pointing the blame at the man. And I wanted them to take some responsibility for the role that they played. Set him aside and deal with what you did, and more importantly, why you did it. Because I just don't think people wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I think I'm going to cheat today. I think I'm just going to destroy a couple of lives and then I'm going to go about my merry way. It's not that simple. And I didn't want this book to be based on lust. I wanted to be based on something more meaningful and deep to that, because I honestly believe at the core that people who make these mistakes or commit adultery are not purely just lust-driven human beings, that's all they want to do is have sex.
Right.
I didn't want to believe that. So that's why I made it detailed as I did to focus on not the adultery, but who they were and how those things shaped them.
All right. I love that. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to give too much of the book because we definitely want our listeners to go out and order the book. And at the end, we will kind of go into detail and give you guys some additional information of how you can order the book. But in true Coco Brown fashion, I want to get into basically, and you laugh because you already know where I'm going.
Yes.
I want to get into the love and life portion of this. And so, of course, this is where we kind of open it up. And this is to everybody on the call with a couple of questions. And I'm going to relate this all back to the book and like the storyline of the book. So my first question for everybody is, do you think someone can be in love with two people at once? Do you think?
No. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Yes, Dale.
Anissa D. Blair.
Yes.
Tabitha is not about to get us in trouble on this podcast.
Yes, she is. She's always trying to get us in trouble.
She is not about to get us in trouble on this podcast. And I plead the fifth. I have the right to remain silent.
That's what we doing today, Dale. That's what we doing. It's like that.
Yes, that's what we doing today.
I'm going to answer for Dale. No.
Tabitha,
Two people
did you hear
cannot
that?
love.
Did you hear that long pause? Did you hear that long pause? That was the longest pause of the Let's Be Clear podcast history.
Dale, just say no and work with it.
I did hear that long pause, and I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say it's because some of us may have been in this situation, and we're trying to decide if we want to answer honestly or if we just don't know.
Antoinette, I'm going to let ladies go first.
Yeah, go first.
Oh, me? Oh, honestly, I would say no. And the only reason why I'm going to say no is because when you are giving your all in a relationship, as I have and I'm doing currently, I don't know how you can have the energy or the motivation to give that same, anything to someone else. At the same time, I don't know. I don't, it's too much. I just don't have the time. It'll be exhausting, and that's a lot of spreading yourself thin in a sense. Like, I don't think you can be in love with two people fully. Like, you may like someone else for other things, but I don't see it's kind of the 80-20 rule. Like, 20% of something, that person is missing, and this other person can give you that 20%. Like, I don't feel that it's a full 100. I just don't see. I honestly don't see it. Like, no, I think it's too much.
I agree with you. I used to believe yes. I used to wholeheartedly believe yes. Especially having kids. Like, if I can love another child as much as I love the first, then clearly my heart has the opportunity and the space to genuinely love more than one person. You love your parent, maybe not equally. You love them differently. So I thought, you can be in love with two people. Yeah, you can be. But when I think on it now, I think what it really is, like you said, it's that 80-20 rule. I think what you think is love for the other person, typically whoever comes in second, I think that's lust. I think it's lust disguised as love. I think typically, especially if you find yourself and kind of taking it back to the book, in an adulterous situation, attempting to look for something or fill a void that is not getting taken care of by who you're currently with. And because it's something that you're not getting, you love that so much, you desire it so much, you yearn it so much that it really comes off as love. When in reality, it's hurt and it's a void and it's just unresolved issues that you have going on that you're not dealing with appropriately. Whereas you should be going to counseling, you find yourself hanging out with somebody else that you shouldn't be and hiding and keeping secrets and stuff. So I used to say
it's easier, it's an easier cop out by doing that. That's all it is. And it's not the root of the issue. So, you know.
I agree. I agree.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Dale. I'm going to answer for you, Dale, because I know exactly what to say for you. I think men can do it. I think men can do it because men are not emotional creatures as emotionally as women are. I think it's very hard for one woman to sleep with two men and say, I love both of them equally, because I agree with what you ladies said. There is no way to split that up and say, I love them 50-50. One's going to give you something and the other one's giving it to you as a replacement. But because women are emotional, we put emotions into it, and it's probably 90% of the time never about sex. It's about that emotional connection that you have with one or the other. Whereas with men, and of course, I was a tomboy growing up, so I know all about men based on talking to them. Men can separate that. Men can separate it and it be purely about physical attraction.
You're right.
And they can turn it off like a light switch. Whereas because we are the receiver of that, if you know what I mean, without being too graphic, it's no way for it not to be emotional for us. Did I do good, Dale? Okay.
You hit it on the head. Actually, you hit it on the head without being too graphic. By nature, men, we are givers and women are receivers. But I just want to kind of piggyback on what you said a little bit. Being the only man on this podcast, I always stick up for the brothers when I'm on this podcast. I just want to say this. Me personally, I don't feel like I can be in love with two people at the same time. But with that being said, I believe it can happen. The reason why I say it can happen, because it happens every day. When people are halfway out of one relationship and then jump into another relationship, or when some people use another relationship to get over another relationship and they're falling in love. It happens every day. There's people out here right now that's in love with two people or three people. It's happening. I mean, so for us to say that it's not possible, it's kind of, we can't say it's not possible when it's actually happening. Like, it's people in the world right now in love with two people. So it's possible.
That's a good point. When you talk about jumping out of relationships and jumping into the next, I'm a firm believer. God forbid something happens to me and DJ, I'm not falling out of love with him in a day, in a week, in a month, probably in a year. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some time. So if y'all see me in these streets with somebody else in 6 months, know that I'm in love with you people. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. It happens every day. Like you said, when people pass away and when people's spouses pass away, they move on, but they still in love with their deceased spouse, and they fall in love again. So it's possible. I mean, I think it's possible.
Yeah, that's exhausting.
It is. Without telling on myself too much, I cheated in the 11th grade, and it was exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting. But I'm not going into further detail about that because I have people that listen to this podcast, and I'm going to my grave saying I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Okay.
So I'm going to say this without going into too much detail. This is what we always say on this podcast. Donnell Jones got a song, Where You Want to Be. And just know, when this song came out, I just know I played that song too. I couldn't play it no more.
I hear you,
Donnell Jones hit song Where You Want to Be, and y'all know what that song is about.
Yes.
So I've been there. And the best thing to do is just step away out of the situation and clear your mind, clear your head, no matter if it takes 6 months to a year, and really figure out where you want to be, because it doesn't make sense to hurt two people, you know?
I agree.
Yes,
yes, and our adult lives. In our adult lives, when you're young and dumb, you do it different.
Yeah, long time ago. Long time ago.
Right. Okay, so piggyback off of that, do you think best friends can love the same man? So now we're going to go back into the topic of Anissa's book, because it's Your Husband, My Man. Can best friends love the same man?
Wow.
Why can't they? Because in this particular book,
this is true.
Because in this particular book, he's presenting himself in two different personas for these women.
Right.
Vanessa, he more so takes the role as the doting husband as much as he can muster, you know. So he's being that, you know, that husband that comes home from work and they have that family life, just the two of them. And then for Faith, he's being that aggressive
bad boy, almost
bad boy for her. So yeah, why not? Because he's gotten himself split out, and he has a perfect scenario working out where he can be two different people for two different women, and his satisfaction will be met.
This is true, and it's so unfortunate because there's been so many scenarios. You know, you listen to like radio shows where they're doing interviews where they have people call in and, you know, kind of wanting advice. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a scenario where someone has said, you know, my best friend doesn't know I've been sleeping with her man, or one to the extreme. I think it was like going viral on social media at one point where she had kids by her best friend's man, and she just told her best friend like, oh, you know, I don't know who I got, you know, I know who I got pregnant by.
I heard that one.
Yeah, and she kept saying that they were, you know, he was planning on leaving her and he was going to move in, and he, you know, comes and gets the kids and spends time with them, and her kids and their kids kind of play together, and she knows that they're growing up as brother and sister, but the best friend, it's just insane.
It sounds like love and hip-hop of something or another.
Right.
Sounds like.
It does. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit deeper into this whole love and life topic. What do you guys think about married women with single friends? Because that's definitely... you know, a topic within the book. Faith is single. She does single things. Vanessa is very much married. I think she's still considered a newlywed. So, you know, Faith wanting Vanessa to kind of hang out, and Vanessa kind of wanting to do right and be that good girl and be home with her man, and kind of waiting on him to say, you know, whether she can go out or not. How do you guys feel about married women, or women, period, in relationships and committed relationships with very single friends?
So I think that it's cool, but there should be boundaries. There should be limitations. There should be certain things that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, just because you're in a relationship or you get married, you can't really dictate who your wife friends are going to be. Like, you can't say, hey, you can't hang around with that person. I think that's too controlling for a man to try to dictate a woman's friend. But at the same time, I think there should be some kind of like some rules. Like, you know, if your friends are I'm in Las Vegas, they come to Las Vegas and they go into a all-male review, of course you can't go to that. I mean, so yeah, there should be some rules to it.
Wait. Hold on, wait a minute. What?
So I've been married. I've been married for 12 years, and this year made 12 years. And since I've been married, I have not been to a strip club. Like, I haven't been to a strip club in 12 years because there's no need for me to go to a strip club. So I mean,
I heard they got good wings, bro.
They do got good wings. They do. But you know, back to the question though. You know, I think it's cool for a woman to have friends that's married and that's not married, because she got cousins, she got nieces, and she got aunties or whatever. They may not be married and they may hang out, but as long as she respect the relationship or respect the remarriage, I think it's cool. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, I would have to agree too. Like, I would think that, you know, as a woman, like how you know your friends, like you know the levels of, you know, outrageousness they can get to. So if you know, hey girl, we're just going to go to brunch and hang out, then that's cool. But if you know, hey girl, we're going to go, you know, to Miami for the weekend, and you know, it's, you know, bike week or whatever, and you know how, you know, your girls get down during bike week in Miami or whatever it is, maybe that's something you should skip, you know? So, I mean, you know your girls. Like, come on. We all know. So you just have to pick and choose what events you feel comfortable going to. That's not going to put you in a compromising position. And men should do the same as well. You know, think about it first before you jump in.
And if they really your friend, they not going to put you in that position anyway, because they're going to have respect for your marriage and your spouse.
True. Very true.
Exactly. And being married, I knew that people that I called friends were no longer going to be my friends. One, because I am married, and two, I'm going to be honest, I'm a different person when I'm out with my man as opposed to when I'm out with my girls. That's not to say that I'm doing anything scandalous, but the behavior is different to a certain degree. And when you add the layer of having single friends are normally on the price. They're looking for a man. And you're going to be put in those situations where normally if you're in a group of women, let's just say three of the women are single, and you're that married one, for whatever reason, it's automatically an automatic assumption that you're either married and you cheat or you're single. So what I've done for my husband and I found mutual friends that are married as well. And then when we have moments when we want to do our separate things, if he wants to go watch a basketball game with his boys, or I want to go have drinks with my friends, I know it's those friends that respect my marriage and respect that I'm not going to be out till 3 o'clock and then heading to the Waffle House with them. You know, I'm going to go about leaving midnight and go home. So, you know, that's when that comes that big divide on who are actually friends and wants the best for your marriage or relationship, or those ones that are like the face, you know, if they can sabotage, they're going to sabotage.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like with me, I have single friends around me, but it's that respect thing. They know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do type of a thing. I did find this kind of difficult, like right before I got married. Again, me and DJ had been together for years, but I had a group of single friends who just didn't, they weren't in relationships, they didn't have kids, so they didn't understand why I would want to go home on a Friday night, or why, you know, on a Saturday I can't just on a whim, hey girl, let's go out and do something. Like, no, I want to be with my man, I want to be with my child, kind of a thing. So it never created an issue between us as friends, but I started to feel, I won't say tension, maybe I'll just kind of put that on myself. Maybe I felt tension that maybe I couldn't be the type of friend that they wanted, or like be within the friend crowd as much as I wanted to. So it was a lot of like FOMO, like I missed out on a lot of things. When we would kind of all link back up, I'd hear different stories of how they went out of town, or, you know, went to this club, that club, this restaurant, that restaurant. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to keep hitting up all these new restaurants and not experiencing that with my, you know, then boyfriend at the time, kind of a thing. So it did create a little bit of an issue. But now once I got married, it was kind of like a no, y'all already know I'm not doing that. Like, so don't ask. I'm not going to feel no type of way. Y'all don't feel no type of way that you know I'm going to say no type of a thing. I don't mind going out for drinks or lunch or anything like that, but it's not going to be as consistent and constant as y'all, because y'all don't understand that our lives are very different.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Tabitha, I do have a question for y'all ladies, because I want to be clear. Let's be clear. So are y'all saying it's okay if you were married or in a relationship to go out to a strip club, you or your spouse? Because if y'all saying it's okay, I need to let my wife know what y'all, that I got to say, the ladies on the podcast said it's okay for me to go out.
Don't you put us in that situation.
I'm willing to be specific. I'm willing to be very honest and put a little bit of my business out there. So I'm okay with it as long as home is taken care of. I'll say that. Home has got to be taken care of. I don't think that and this is not even just for my relationship, any relationship, if you're a man or a woman who wants to go look at and be entertained by the opposite sex in very provocative situations, and, you know, I'll just speak for women. For a woman to think of our man in a strip club, we think of you looking at the woman, potentially touching the woman, just doing all that, fantasizing about the woman. If you don't make me feel that good at home, if I don't feel like you're equally as attracted to me, that you fantasize, do all that about me, I'm not comfortable with you going and doing that, and also putting money in another woman's hand.
So but if we're good,
good on the
Magic City Monday?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I am content. I am content here in Stockbridge. But, there was a time earlier in our relationship, just being a new couple, just had a baby. I had insecurities about my body. Things were just different. And I remember specifically, again, to put my business out there a little bit, I remember he went to the strip club and I didn't know. And I was like, wait, excuse me? And he didn't see anything wrong with it. But then that was me being young and a new mom and a girlfriend and kind of fresh in the relationship and not knowing how to say, I'm having these struggles, I'm having these issues and insecurities, and I want our bond to be a little stronger so that I'm more comfortable with that idea type of a thing. And now here we are, fast forward 14 years later, and 2 years ago, I took my husband to the strip club and paid for him to get a dance. So, yeah, it's very different now. Now, of course, you asked that Mr. Wiggins, can I go to a strip club by myself? He probably going to have a whole different thing to say, but this is at least my opinion on it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. As long as the home front is taken care of, girls like chicken too. If y'all can always say y'all go to the strip club for the chicken wings, we like chicken wings.
Okay, so in Atlanta, you got Magic City and Blue Flame. In Washington, D.C., where Antoinette at, you got the stadium. I know all about it. So tell me about it, Antoinette.
Yeah. You just don't get to go.
You got the stadium in Washington, D.C., where Antoinette at. Antoinette, is it okay if your man go to the stadium in Washington, D.C.?
Absolutely. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. Again, I'm not married. I am in a relationship. We have been together for a very long time. But, if there was a clause in the marriage that said, I can't go to the strip club once we get married, either one of us, because I like going to the strip club too. And not the women's strip club. I don't do that. I go see the men. lots of you. I love to go do that. So if I couldn't, if that was a clause, it would be something I couldn't do. No. But I don't have a problem with it at all. No, I just think it's fun. It's a nice night out and cool. I don't have a problem with it at all. As long as you tell me. Communicate,
Exactly. We both had strippers at our bachelor and bachelorette parties. You know what I mean?
But I can't go with him. Now, one thing, Tab, I can give you, I can't go with him to the strip club. I can't do that. I can't see him.
Right. I did that.
No. I can't do that. No. I can't do that. No, I can't.
We went to the Blue Flame, and I purposely made sure he was as uncomfortable as possible. I made sure he had a lap dance. I picked the woman out, and the whole time she was dancing for him, I made her equally as uncomfortable. And I just stared at him. And my intent was not for him not to enjoy it.
My God. I'm sure he did enjoy it.
He probably didn't. But I think women should go with their man only for the reason that we have this illusion that these women are fine and bodies and banging and everything is on point and you can bounce a quarter off their ass. When in actuality, you look 90% better than most of the men there. Because the ones there got stretch marks and bullet wounds. So you can go there.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Realize that it's not about a physical thing for men. It's just the illusion of looking at another woman, but not necessarily in a lustful, like I'm trying to get with her. It's just it's like going to a basketball game for some men or going to a football game. They go and they talk to each other more than they watch the dance. Of course, you're going to have some men that don't feel that way, but get the illusion of the Players Club out your head and how that movie was set up, because it's not like that at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm in Las Vegas. Floyd Mayweather has a strip club here, and it's about a year old. I'm going tonight, and I'm going to let my wife know that y'all said it's okay.
I don't suggest that. That's a conversation there. You got to warm up to that.
You are not. Listen, Antoinette, we're going to get on this call next Wednesday, and his wife's going to be on the call. I just want to say something first.
Exactly.
She's going to get on here apparently I need to be the fourth cast member because there is foolishness going on this call on Wednesday.
I know.
I would say Antoinette said, long as I was honest about it, that's all that matters. I'm going to keep it 100 with her. I'm going to let her know what time I got there, what time I left. I'm going to keep it all the way 100.
That is a conversation that leads up to possibly going. You just can't spring that and say, I'll be back about 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, can I get the money out the ATM? No.
Oh, man.
All right, guys.
Always got a good
right. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm not going to hit you guys anymore with any more love or life. So, Delwayne, Antoinette, do you guys have any questions for Anissa? Any questions about her book?
Actually, I do. I have quite a few questions. Anissa, first of all, I want to say thank you for the book. I mean, I'm on your website right now, and you are an inspiration to all up-and-coming authors, especially Black authors. You are doing it, and congratulations to you. My question is, what advice would you give any new authors that want to get into the industry, that's writing, been writing a long time, and they want to release books? What advice would you give to them? And my second part of the question is, do you recommend self-publishing, or do you recommend going through a publishing company?
Okay. First, the number one advice I would give them is market yourself, build your brand. No one can sell you better than you. And while writing the book is the easy part, making sure people know where to get your book, know who you are, is absolutely the hardest part. And you've got to invest. If people tell you you don't have to spend money to make money, it's never going to work. If you want to put out a quality product, right? So you need to invest in a good editor. That's number one. Be prepared to spend quite a few $100s to get a good editor that's, one, not going to take your work and make it sound like their own, but going to correct you where it needs to be corrected, because that's the hard part. And have a good product. You know, I have read other authors' stuff, and I would never name any and say it was good or bad, but it was not quality work. And if you want someone to be a repeat, buyer or refer your book to someone else, then you got to make sure that your product is quality. For your second question, I will say without a shadow of a doubt, self-publish. Not all of us are fortunate enough to be Michelle Obamas of the world, where we can sell 10 million copies without really having to. So self-publishing is pretty much the only way that we can effectively get a book on the market. When I wrote this book 16 years ago, and I think I probably stopped counting about 20-something rejection letters where I was trying to find a publisher or trying to find, back then you needed a literary agent to kind of get your foot in the door with a publishing company. And it's extremely hard. Now you don't have to go that rejection route. You can do it yourself and just keep more of the money in-house, because publishing companies, by the time they pay their in-house editor, they pay any type of marketing team that you may have, where your book might be selling at Barnes & Noble for, let's just say, $25.99. By the time everybody gets a piece of the pie, you might end up with $2 per book.
Wow, that's not good.
So at least with self-publishing, you control your money. No one else controls your money but you.
Thank you. And I got two more questions, and I'm going to make it really short, but I do have two last questions. The first question is, the third question is, have you experienced any writer's block while writing this book? Any type of times where your creativity just wasn't flowing as well as you wanted it to? And if you did, how did you overcome that? And the other part of the question that I had, the fourth last question I had was, you posted on your Instagram, a woman on a mission to change her world one book at a time. What is it about the world that you would love to change?
Okay, so to answer your first question, have I ever experienced writer's block? And honestly, no, because I at that point in my life, I didn't put myself on a timetable to where I've got to get it done. I know that in order for me to put out something that I would want to read myself, I have to be in a right mindset. My mind needs to be clear. What I typically would do is get a glass of wine, put my music in my ears, and shut out the world. So if there were moments when I felt like I couldn't adequately give it my all, then I just didn't write it all. But I would always keep like a notepad with me. So if I had an idea that was in a place where I couldn't actually write, I would write it down. Just so that I could revert back to it and say, oh, yeah, and then elaborate from that standpoint. And your second question was changing the world one book at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to empower women. Unfortunately, the day and time that we as parents are trying to raise little girls in doesn't always show women in the best manner. I wanted to show that characters do evolve in life. We don't necessarily make the right decisions in that transition, but ultimately we're trying to get to a better place. And that's why I took these characters and made them so starkly different with a whole hell of a lot of problems. Because, and I will make sure you guys have free copies, so I just need your addresses. But I wanted to show how they evolved and they got to a place where they were actually women and proud to say they were a woman. So that's why changing that one book at a time. Because my second book, I'm not going to plug it though, I promise you, it's going to be even better than this one because I'm focusing on things that the Black community does not speak about, which is depression, homosexuality, suicide, eating disorders. So I'm hitting all gamuts with the next book. But that's all I'm going to say. So I hope I answered your question.
Well, thank you so much for doing our podcast. We really appreciate it. And I just want to say your free book is not welcome. I'm going to buy it. And in our community, we should support each other. And that's what I want to do. So I just followed you on Instagram. Please follow me back. Send me the Amazon link, and I'm going to buy it. Thank you. I appreciate the free book offer, but we'll do that. I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to support you.
I'm very humble, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But I want to let you know, on Amazon, it's only on the ebook. If you like ebooks, fine. If you want a actual touch it, hold it, feel it, the book is available on my website. So regardless of what you say, I believe in doing things because I am humble. I'm very excited. So you will get something from me whether you like it or not.
So how about this? You send me your Cash App. You send me your Cash App. I'll send you the money for the book, and you can autograph me a copy and mail it.
That's given. Dale, we're not going to have this discussion right now, okay? I'm going to send you something. So once I follow you on Instagram, I will get the questions answered that I need, and I will, of course, the other two lovely ladies get the information I need from them as well.
That'll work for me.
I love that. And I appreciate Delwayne. Thank you for asking those questions, too, because we've said before it's important here on the Let's Be Fair podcast to come with the hows. You know what I mean? We talk so many times about the issues in our community and just what we don't know, what our listeners don't know, what ourselves don't know, what, the young kids growing up after us, the generation after us don't know. So you have so many people who want to write a book and don't know how. And I think those questions are definitely the how that we want to
follow me on Instagram. DM me. I'll help you. It's no reason why we should all struggle. So
I love that. Okay, but let them know. You mentioned your website is where they can get it. They can get it on Amazon. Yes. Let our listeners know how else they can reach you and what your website is.
Okay, my website for the book is Anissa, Anissa, D as in David, Blair.com. There you can order the book and you can see other merchandise that I also have available for sale. My blog is called blendedlikeus.com, where I blog, and my Instagram is at Anissa D. Blair, and of course I'm on Facebook as Anissa Blair and as Blended Like Us. So
love
you
it.
Go to Amazon if you want to order the ebook for a nominal fee of $1.99, or you can purchase the hardback book online with a special note inserted and a little freebie to go along with it for $15.99 with $3.99 shipping and handling.
Awesome.
Go straight to PayPal so I don't get any of your personal information.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anissa.
Hell yes, guys. This week for Talking Tech with Antoinette, I would like to introduce you to an amazing program that I actually found out about when I was traveling 2 weeks ago for work. It happened to come on the news, and I jotted down the information so I could follow up and look into it so I could bring it to you guys. And it's a really dope program. So please, all of my teachers, parents, Black and brown children, please listen closely because this can pertain to you. All right. So Amazon has a program called Amazon Future Engineer, and it's a comprehensive childhood to career program that inspires, educates, and trains children and young adults from underserved and low-income communities to pursue careers in computer science. So according to their website, Black and Hispanic students, those who take AP Computer Science in high school, are 7 to 8 times more likely to take computer science in college. And among women, they are 10 times more likely to do so. So, to prepare for the future, students need to access coursework that will prepare them for success in critical fields. The Amazon Future Engineer program sees the incredible talent in our schools and the students, but they are aware that too many barriers are in the way for us to achieve those goals. The Amazon Future Engineer program initiative seeks to dramatically expand access to high-caliber preparatory courses, curricular resources, and programs for schools and districts to help prepare and propel high school students forward in their pursuit of AP computer education. With a special focus on students in lower income communities and in states that have made computer science education a clear priority, the Amazon Future Engineer sponsorship opportunities are available for schools offering AP computer science for the first time. And so this is an update that happened just 2 weeks ago, guys. And this is according to the Associated Press. As of April 2nd, Amazon announced that 100 high school students from 32 states across the country will receive the first ever Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship of $10,000 per year for over 4 years to study computer science at a college of their choice. And you heard me right. So basically, they're paying for you to go to school if you go to an in-state school, because that normally ranges, I would say, $50,000. I think at least, yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're giving you $10,000 per year if you study computer science. So think about that.
I love that.
Scholarship, yeah, exactly. So the scholarship winners will also receive a guaranteed paid internship offered at Amazon after their freshman year to gain work experience. Recipients were chosen for their academic achievements, demonstrated leadership, participation in school and community activities, work experience, future goals, and diversity. All of the recipients demonstrated financial need, and more than half of the students are from underrepresented groups in the computer science field. So let's be clear, guys. I am someone who not only was raised in a single-parent household, my mother raised me, my brother, and my sister. All she could do was work and keep the lights on, food on our table, food on the table, and clothes on our back. So I completely understand how parents can be stretched to the limit with their resources and or exhausted at the end of the day and just don't have the energy to put forth an effort to giving their children, financial support they may need to have extracurricular activities. But when an opportunity that is, presented for your child to excel, please, and I'm begging you to do all that you can to take that extra step, especially if it's free resources, to help your child propel into the future of what, the realm in the world is going to be. And as I've always said in other shows, the future is tech. And the more that we get into, diving deeper into technology-based things and or science and anything else dealing with math, etc., the need for people to be able to harness these skills is definitely necessary, because from the articles that I've read in the past, it's going to get to a point where we have a lot of job openings and not enough people trained and educated enough to be able to fill those positions. So definitely look out for this opportunity. Again, guys, this is the Amazon It is the Amazon Future Engineer Program. Go to their website, type it in Google, and you will find it. So what do you guys think about this program? And would you guys suggest this to anyone that you know and have any ideas, or your kids at all if they're interested?
Oh, yeah. It makes it easier to swallow that they got that huge tax break. You know what I mean? At least lets you know that they're taking their money and they're putting it back where it matters to us, is with our youth.
Right, exactly.
And giving them these opportunities. And it's a decent amount of money. $10,000 a semester, like that.
Yeah.
Is it a semester or a year? Or $10,000 a year? That's still huge.
A year.
Yeah. That's huge for in-state tuition. You know what I mean? And
for
giving that opportunity to internship, which, you know, I'm sure other opportunities are going to come up, you know, during those 4 years before they even get to the internship part. Like, done right. It's like you said, if parents stay on top of their kids and pour into them and really guide them with that opportunity, that'll definitely pay off.
Absolutely. How about you, Dylan?
So, first of all, I want to say thank you. This is a really, really great topic for the podcast. I love it. We need it. Our community need it. I'm on the website right now, and we always talk about the future with the Talking Tech with Internet. We always talk about the future and the technology and how we need to get educated. This is perfect, and I would love to see. You know, most of these young people, they're on social media. I would love to see the Shade Room post this. I would love to see WorldStar post this. This website need to crash because young people need to be on this. Like,
absolutely.
So I'm going to share it. And I just want to thank you for sharing this story with us. It's great. We need this. Our community.
Absolutely. You're absolutely welcome. And guys, like I said, this is the information I'm always looking for. I'm prowling through. And honestly, it fell in my lap because I was just in my hotel room and I happened to look up, and it's like this Amazon engineering, you know, program. I'm like, what is this? And I quickly wrote down the information and I looked into it when I got home, and I'm thankful that I did. Because, and like I said, this scholarship, this was recently just revealed on April 2nd that 100 students would be, you know, getting that scholarship across the country. So,
And I have, my kids are 12, 13, and 15. I'm about to sign them up, like, for real.
Yeah.
So I'm about to sign their mom and let them know. Like, you need to make sure that our kids, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, what I was going to say is that even if the school that your child is in currently doesn't have the computer science program, as long as you have one student interested and one teacher willing to teach the class, they will set you up with all the material that you need to get this child enrolled in the program at school. Yes, at school, so they can get started and then apply for this program and to hopefully get in. And so it's not. Yeah, guys, it can't be any simpler than that. I honestly don't know what else to kind of put out there, how to push this.
So everybody on the podcast, a lot of listeners know I love Google, but Amazon is coming in close second. They're coming in close second.
Oh, they're definitely leading right now. Between Amazon and Google, they're definitely taking over.
Yeah, they are.
For sure.
They really are. And they give it back. Like, they giving back, and that's the best thing.
Exactly. Like, think of your day. You know, a lot of your day is either going towards Amazon or going towards Google, whether you're in Google to search for something, whether you're on Amazon to purchase something, or you're using your Alexa, or you know what I mean? So just a lot of our day consists of Google and Amazon.
No, I was just echoing what Tabitha said, how we use Amazon and Google every day without skipping days. Like, we really do. So
awesome. Every single day I put my hands on one of them.
So one thing I was going to say, guys, is that what was so funny is that a few years ago, Amazon, like, we live close to Maryland University. So they just opened up a return store where you can just drop off your Amazon package, and as soon as you drop it off, it automatically refunds your account for whatever you're trying to return. So I went there for the first time, and I saw that Maryland University students were working there. And I was like, I thought to myself, like, I wonder if these students understand the magnitude of having Amazon on your resume, even if it's just a customer service, like, position that you have. Like, you're working for Amazon. Like, that is huge. Like, they're one of the top tech companies in the world. Like, that is amazing. So the fact that they're working there and you're going to have that on your resume, like, is just great. And it's an awesome start, and you can, like, work your way up, etc. So I just thought it was really dope, and I was geeking out for a second, but I don't think they realized what they, what they were doing.
And that's part of the how, and that's part of like broadening their understanding, because being that young, they don't get it yet. So it's going to take us and different generations ahead of them to explain to them how they can flip that opportunity, how you can flip that that position on your resume and open up so many doors. That's just like with me, to have a healthcare background. I had no understanding how I could use that and flip that and open up all these healthcare IT opportunities for me, because I'm just, I'm just, a little clinician. This is all I do. But it's like, you don't even understand how being a clinician and how healthcare is moving into the tech space, how this puts you front line and center to also move yourself. So it's showing them the opportunities that are open to them that the other cultures are having discussions about. You know what I mean? And we're not having those discussions within our community. So it's letting them know, hey, this might just be a little customer service job to you at Amazon, but do realize that you can move up in this company and then find yourself at the corporate office of Amazon in the future? Like, So it's just it's exposing them to that and having those conversations with them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. And don't ever worry about geeking out, with us. Me and Tabitha, we geek too. You can geek out anytime with us.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love it.
Yeah, guys, so that's all I have for Talking Tech. And we would love to hear if anyone who listens to the podcast, if you were one or your child was one of the recipients of the, 100 people who received this scholarship, because you never know. It could be possible. Yes. So we would love to hear from you. Yes. And if you're going to apply, we want to hear from you also. So let us know. Keep in touch.
Especially now, as the word, is still trying to get out there. There's not as many people who are aware of it, so now is an amazing time.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Antoinette.
Good.
You're welcome.
All right, Delwayne, what you got for us?
All right, guys, this is your boy Delwayne with the Let's Be Clear Entertainment Podcast Report. As everybody knows, Nipsey Hussle was murdered and killed. So I don't have a lot on this Entertainment Report podcast. A lot of people still in mourning, including myself. We're just trying to move on with life. Nipsey Hussle mom posted a video on Instagram yesterday telling all the fans that Nipsey is good. His energy is all around now. His energy is no longer trapped in the physical body. Now it's everywhere. She said Nipsey is good, and people need to follow their dreams, move on with their life, and just know that Nipsey is good. So she kind of put out those words of encouragement to everyone who was possibly still mourning. The celebration of life for Nipsey Hussle is at Staples Center. It's from 10 to 12. So if you're in the Los Angeles area and you want to be a part, there is no more tickets, I'm sorry to say, but you can still probably stand outside and be part of it. They may have it on the screens or outside of the Staples Center. So if you're in the Los Angeles area and you want to be part of it, head down there. Security will be tight, so you don't have to worry about what happened at the Candle Visual happening at the Staples Center. This is the Staples Center where the Lakers play, so you know security is going to be really tight. I'm hearing that the Nation of Islam is going to be part of security. The LAPD can be part of security. The Staples Center has their own security. So if you're worried about your safety at the Staples Center, you will be fine from 10 to 12. Also tonight, they're having a private celebration for Nipsey. Currently going on right now with just family and friends, just close families and friends with tight security. It's on Crenshaw, at a funeral home on Crenshaw. It's going down right now as we speak. And then tomorrow is the big celebration of life. So that's what I have for my entertainment report.